A person who wrote me here, she said like this, Father. I have lived outside Brazil for 5 years. And I really need your help. As much as I try, I have not been able to forgive. I am the result of my mother's relationship with a married man, and he decided to live his life with his family. And my mother redid her life with someone else. I never accepted my mother's involvement with that person, and perhaps for fear of losing her attention, only that didn't happen. And from an early age, since I have a child, I suffer a lot from it. My mother had another daughter. I realized that they began to underestimate me for not being a fruit of their relationship. And my stepfather, who didn't like my mother to do a lot for me, became a very difficult person. I could not study in a particular story, unlike my sister, who could. I passed 2 public colleges. I did both, because I didn't want to lose. And yet I only suffered charges from my mother and sister. And my sister with no charge. Always her life facilitated, and my life always more difficult. Today, Father, I'm away from home by my own decision, and I am nourishing a very bad feeling inside my sister. A feeling of hatred. And when I wonder if I want to have children, I say no. I'm afraid to do the same with them. Priest, I need your help to overcome all this. My daughter, every time we have a difficult story, you are right. It is very common for one person to reproduce in the other the difficult life they had. That's why we need to heal from what you lived, what you experienced. Because otherwise we become continuing what was so painful to us. Every time I'm not able to assimilate a difficulty, I can make the difficulty I could not assimilate in others. We waste a lot of time not to forgive, because forgiveness is precisely the opportunity we have to live a reconciliation that has several dimensions. One aspect of this reconciliation is that I reconnect with me. Do you know what the great damage is? The other breaks a harmony within me. You may be thinking that your lack of harmony is with your sister. No, it is much deeper. Your lack of harmony with your sister is a consequence of the harmony your sister has managed to break inside you. Of course, you may not even be aware of it. So that's what you first need to be tidy. It's no use living a movement that takes you out to meet this sister. It is a personal reconciliation. You forgive life, you know. Forgive yourself for not being able to face, shield yourself from all these evils you did to you. It is reconciling, getting out of the condition of victim, because no one earns anything feeling the poor thing of history, which was mistreated. What was that? What was that? I have never seen a person becoming great, winning, feeding the victim spirit. This first movement you do is corrected what you have allowed to be broken. It is one thing to enter my house and throw a precious piece on the floor. Another thing is someone to enter my house, make me hold the precious piece, and send me to throw it on the floor, and I obey. The first damage they usually do with us is this. They make us despise what we have most precious. That is terrible. The contempt of the other for me, the arrogance of the other with me, or the injustice of the other to me makes me live just an inner break. And then I end up thinking my difficulty is with the other. No, the first difficulty I have is with myself. I need to correct this here. The damage I made in myself because I believe the contempt of the other. Then you can say, Dad, but how do we avoid it? It's hard when you're talking about a child who doesn't have the filters that an adult has, for example. An adult has filters that the child does not have. So the child is strongly attacked. And she doesn't have much immunity to receive the attacks, so she records everything. Now, as we are becoming aware, we need to have the courage to put this armor so that the other does not destroy us with what he says, with what he thinks about us. It is therefore, my daughter, that you now have to live the therapeutic process of healing yourself and then able to forgive your sister. Do not insist on forgiving your sister if you do not forgive yourself before. The movement is always from the inside out. Sometimes you keep thinking you need to forgive the other when you actually need to forgive yourself. Forgiveness to the other will be a natural consequence. Reconcile with you, and it will be easier for you to live with others. Sometimes our coexistence with each other is very difficult because we lack the instruments for a healthy coexistence with us. And life is very short, right? For us to waste her, so we don't enjoy it. Today, God gives us the opportunity to put our choices into context in favor of our growth. Choose what today builds you. Instead of choosing to break hatred, choose to get rid of it. Instead of being brooding over the bad things that told you, choose to read a good thing that will replace this information. Instead of seeing images that bring you sadness, disappointment, that rekindle disappointments, secure your eyes on something that is beautiful, like this image here. Contemplation. When we go to a place where it has beauty, what happens to us? The beauty that is out, when contemplated, it passes into us. That's why it makes us so well see a good movie. To be in front of a painting, a sculpture. Art has an effect on us. What is out harmonizes what is inside. Choose this. Choose the part that is good for you. And of course, what destroys you is losing the opportunity to destroy you. The seed has the gift of being a tree. She didn't have to do anything to receive that gifty. All the possibilities of the tree are condensed in the seed, but it will have to go through the task process. That is, it will have to fall into the propitious ground. We'll have to receive the rain. We'll have to allow to die to be born tree. This is the task of the seed, and that we often help to take care. If you want a tree in your home, you have been planting since you are small, and you will work that seed that has been planted so that it will be the tree it can be. We are all endowed with this gift. I was born to be free. Freedom was granted to me as an unenforceable gift. It is non-nervous. I can't say that I don't want this gift. It's on me. Now, I will have to fight in my daily life to reach this free state of free man. You, a free man. A free woman. Because we are getting tied to many things. There are many human situations that are harming our freedom, starting with our education. Because when we are born, we are deliveretto, a family. And families are not perfect. Our parents did not study psychology so that they could educate us. They missed us a lot. We do not complain, we only come to the conclusion so that we can take steps in a maturity that then allows us to correct the error with our children. How many of us followed a path that was not ours, just to please father, just to please mother? How many of us repeated a sad story because we were chained in the defects of our parents, and then we reproduced exactly the same mistakes of them? So, inner freedom we begin to cultivate every time we have the happy opportunity to go through the lives of those who make us free. And so we find a lot of people with this goodwill to see us with love, to see us with freedom, to look at our possibilities, identify them, and help us flourish. They are the true loves, the true friends, the true bonds. Love among friends is the last stage of love in my understanding. I understand that gospel that Jesus is placed in the face of some questions that were around. Jesus, the woman is married to this one. After he dies, she marries his brother. When do these people die all? Who will they be a wife? And Jesus said, this is no longer important. I believe that in the last stage of love is fraternity. Father and mother experience this over time. Even marriage is like this. Over time, it becomes a beautiful friendship. All those corolars of sexuality are already accommodated, right? I hope it lasts a lot in your wedding, right? But you can be sure that what will hold the relationship at the end is this fraternity that is established. Love for each other, respect, admiration. So every time it goes through our lives, a fraternal, true love, without the interests of sexuality. Every time you are looked fraternally by someone, it extracts the best, and you get freer. So good we are looking at this look that releases the inner freedom we have. People who make us free because there are some who are experts in imprisoning us, aren't they? Just look at us. It has so much expectation in her eyes that we can't stand the weight of the look. There are some people who sometimes say, you don't like me. You hear that a lot, right? It is not that we do not like it. It is that the other looks at us so much weight that we are not pleased to be close. We need to educate ourselves so that we are a promoter of inner freedom of each other, and naturally we promote this freedom in us as well. Because it is very sad to be tied to your needs, in your ills. Jesus was a specialist in breaking the power of chains that prevented those people from being them. The freer you are, the greater your ability to love. The greater your ability to be a mother. Without being a victim of your addresses. Because sometimes, because we are not free, we want our children to be exactly what we would like them to be. This is not love, this is projection. My people, we can't waste time tied up. We cannot waste time tied to our mistakes, our ills, or what we have already achieved from us. Because sometimes we get bothered. There is no quality of life. Every time I get limited to what I have already achieved of myself, my life is losing the grace. The good thing is me to feel that I am digging day by day, is that I am fertilizing day by day the seed of my being, so that I will flourish and bring all my possibilities.
As we come to the end of our time together on Path of Faith, we invite you to continue the conversation in the comments section below. Don't forget to show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel for more inspiring messages.